So this isn't so much me asking a question or reflecting on my learning, this is more of a rant, but it's gonna be an educational rant, so let the learning begin. So as I mentioned in the introductions video, I am participating in a project that I am calling Conquering Davidson, which is basically reading through this monstrosity of a textbook known as Davidson's Principles and Practice of Medicine. And by monstrosity, I'm referring to its large volume of content. The quality of content is quite excellent. But when I first purchased the book to embark on this project, I made sure to get the latest edition, which was published in 2014. So, I was doing today's reading and I was reading about gastroenteritis, and it's difficult to read about gastroenteritis without coming across oral rehydration solution, which is the mainstay of treatment, usually. And, Davidson had this nice table, listing out the composition of the oral rehydration solution and comparing it to other replacement fluids. To me, gastroenteritis is mostly review. I had learned about it in school before, and I remember most of it, but I only vaguely remembered the composition of ORS, and I thought I should, look over it again and rememorize it. But when I looked at the table in Davidson, it looked a little bit off. I mean, I wasn't exactly sure, but it looked a little not quite what I remember. So I thought I should look it up, and mostly because the table didn't list glucose, and I thought that was important to know. So it turns out that the WHO has modified its ORS formula into a low osmolarity formula, and the values in the table are all wrong. What? If you're interested to know, the formula for ORS was changed because it was shown in studies that a decreased osmolarity would decrease the stool output and also decrease vomiting, and therefore decrease the need for IV fluid therapy. But I thought this was so weird. I got the latest edition of the textbook, and it was published in 2014, which was after I learned about gastroenteritis in my school. It turns out that the modification for the ORS formula occurred in 2006, 10 years ago, which means Davidson has failed to update the composition table for ORS 8 years after it was changed. This was all a very eye-opening discovery for me, because for me, I had always looked up to Davidson as inerrant. He couldn't possibly be wrong, and it was, as long as I knew everything in Davidson, that I would be fine, that nothing could ever go wrong. And just these past couple of days, I'm finding, multiple problems with Davidson, and, that's not to diminish the quality of the book. It's still a great textbook, but the moral of the story is textbooks get things wrong, and you should update yourselves on a regular basis, especially if it's for a disease that is the top 3 cause of mortality in children.